35, the 35M and 35N legislation. I found that within the State Aid Act, and I copied it and I put it in the 4-5 documents because I just needed a quick place to throw that. But I talked to Aisha, I was going to say Asha, I'm working on that A sound. And so I'm going to fix that up a little bit and then send that so that we can have a better spot within the agenda. So you will be able to go in and read that if you want to and have a little bit more understanding of what those two, that literacy achievement committee and that innovative literacy project that is a fun competition. So you'll be able to have a little more information about that. So I'll take care of that and then get that out so that the team has access to it. If you were at task force or even at GLN, if you're a member that sits in more than one space, some of this is not new to you. But if you take a look at the update on the slide deck for Early Literacy Task Force, there are, we have our two chairs that are still standing with us, Michelle Goley and Shelley Goal. They're both still our task force leaders and are working really hard. And I just wanted to highlight the new work groups that we have within task force. And I want you to just listen for a commonality and a theme that's in there. So our work groups are marketing and communication systems, professional learning systems, data and impact systems. And what are we hearing all through that? That word system, and it's connected back to the values that are within the organizational practices, and that systemic, sustained, collaborative work task force is trying to carry through. So the work that's coming from superintendents through MAISA, through the instructional council, GLN, and into task force, and then into your classrooms and the work that you're doing as coaches and instructional leaders, we're really trying to embed that thinking so that we're an action-oriented group. And these new work groups will be helping support that. What are we doing to take our practices and putting them into actionable data? That's really what their intention is. So these are the work groups. People had a voice and a choice in what they were going to participate in. And so I just wanted to highlight that. It's something that they're really working through and that team is centered on. There's been a lot of questions about the diverse text work, and I just wanted to highlight that for a quick minute because it transitions right into updates from MAISA. There have been numerous coaches and consultants and the coaching network that have given numerous hours to this project. And MAISA feels it is valuable, so valuable that not only do we want to move forward as a project that we try to build statewide, but we wanted to have a person that was full-time helping coordinate that work. So we had a posting go out several weeks ago. We are interviewing for a position this week, Friday. That person will not only be responsible for classroom essential practices and what we're doing to support and build the capacity of classroom teachers, but also helping to coordinate that specific project. So I know that there's been some conversation about where's the contract, what are we doing with this, how is this moving forward? Our intention is to make it a strong enough priority that we're hiring a full-time person that's going to help coordinate that work. So that it's not just put on the shoulders of somebody within the coaching network or our contractors on the outside who have lots of projects going on around, but rather we're showing the value within MAISA so that we have a person dedicated to that work. If you are a coach or a coordinator in ISD that's been doing that work, an email will be coming out hopefully in the next day or so saying, we appreciate the grace that you've shown us and the contracts are there. We're just waiting to finalize when our new person comes on so that we really can onboard that individual and bring everybody up to speed so that the work can continue on a bigger level and more statewide capacity. So I just wanted to give that little update. I know there's questions out there and people are like, okay, why is this taking so long? So I don't want you to just think that we are giving up on it or that we don't value it. We are valuing it to the next level. And that sometimes takes a minute. So if you take a look at the agenda, does anybody have questions about task force? Michelle and Shelley are great. If you have questions, you can gear them right to them. They have a new leadership team that's helping plan it. There's a few people in this room that sit on that committee also. They're really trying to listen to feedback as they plan those agendas. It's not a one-person show. They really value that team and that idea of collaboration. At MAISA, in the agenda, I have shared our new website link, and it looks a little different. They call it scrolling. There's something that they call it so that everything's kind of listed on the bottom, and our events will stay updated. Just an updated look, more highlights about what's going on. I just wanted you to have that link. And the next stage of that, if you are embedded in the literacy.org work, that website is next, so that those updates and the links on there are constantly being adjusted to show the work that's going on. So I just wanted you to have that access.
You said literacy.
Literacy.org. Literacyessentials.org.
Okay, just I figured.
These
Yes.
look great, Tonya. The literacy essentials on this one, they look amazing.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
really
we
good.
have some awesome people that, I don't know if any of you know Anthony Buza. He's one of our people, the project directors.
We came from RISD.
Yeah.
I do love Anthony.
I love Anthony.
He's
Yes,
awesome.
he and I have a code word. He watched that Ted Lasso. I haven't watched that. So when we are in a room and we say Oklahoma, we know that we can just like share out.
You have to
I don't watch the
Ted
show,
Lasso.
but I get it from him, and so that's where we go. So Anthony was helping me respond to this. One of our new tech support named Beth Skog, she was involved. Our communications coordinator for 35A, Alicia Dixon, who's now attending task force. She's helping lead one of those work teams. They have spent tons of time, and lots of other people. I don't want to leave other people out, but the website really is just looking amazing. And then with help from people like Michelle Wagner, many people know her, to help with the literacyessentials.org, we're making progress. So the intention, though, is to not only highlight that website, but we have new staff. And this is kind of where our system is coming together here. And we all know that people come and go, and that we are needed in a lot of other places. And Mike Yoakum left us to really enjoy the actual word retirement. Unlike some of us who retired and then we stayed and went back for another full-time gig. Mike is really enjoying the retirement life, but that left an opening for us at MAISA within GELN and within the director's position. So we interviewed, and we had 2 outstanding candidates. And knowing that we needed to bring both of them, we had to kind of figure out, how do we make this work? Where do we use those people? How do we use their strengths to fill the needs that we have at MAISA? And so we hired both. We were able to hire Stephanie O'Day, who is the new GLN director. And on your agenda, this was one of my first stabs at trying to do my little diagram here. It's just a quick picture of kind of how our 35A funding is going just for literacy. And so you can see Stephanie is on the side over here. She's the director of GLN. She'll be doing instructional systems. And her responsibility is a little bit more global than the work that Mike was doing. So she's the director for GLN, and she is doing the instructional council, which is a superintendent group, and just really trying to make an alignment between all of the systems and projects that we have at MAISA. Then you have me kind of in the middle, and we have a few branches out here. So we have our regular additional literacy staff. That's Liberty, with whom many of you know. It's Alicia. It's our administrative assistant staff that really, of course, if you've been in a school district, which you all have, you know that's who really makes the system work. Having a good administrative assistant team can make or break you. And so we have some amazing assistants in that category. The math side, that's a whole nother line of our org chart. That's Rusty and Sonia and Trish and our new hire for 23H. That's a whole nother avenue of 35A. But here's where we were able to hire our new person, and that's Michelle Goley. Michelle is at Bay Aranac right now, contracting with us as an educator on loan for up to 55 days. And in January, she's retiring from one full-time job to go to another full-time job. And she is the new director for early literacy professional learning. And as we look at the organizational work that we're doing at MAISA, how do we meet the best our needs of our stakeholders and our communities the best, but also by meeting the deliverables set in legislation. And so we have a systems coordinator. Some people know Teddy. Teddy has attended a few meetings. He helps us with our 35A. We're figuring out the best places for him to attend so that he can collect data and get that stakeholder feedback so that we're really looking at what it says and not just showing the work that we're doing, but what are the outcomes of those work projects. So we're embedding that system into here. And then we have Annie, who we heard from today. She's continuing to support us through Michigan Learning Channel and all of those assets. And two new people. Heather Phelps started with us towards last spring, and she is a project coordinator and director for administrative supports. There are three main components within the deliverables of 35A7 legislation that we are tasked with providing professional learning for coaches, which we've been doing an amazing job. We had Erin Brown, who went to go back to Muskegon for the excitement of Muskegon, sadness in some from MAISA's perspective, because we lost that valuable resource with us every day, but know that she's been helping transition our new people here at MAISA, but administrators, coaches, and classroom. So those three caveats are where we really need to be providing those additional supports and helping build a capacity surrounding the essential practices. And we've been doing such a great job with coaches, but now we need to figure out how to build capacity with MAISA to help those other groups. And that's where Heather has been coming in, and she's doing work for administrators. And we are hiring this person to do classroom supports. And that person we are interviewing for on Friday. So our intention is to take this system and really expand it so that we're meeting the needs of our constituents, but also have a stronger capacity to listen to what people are telling us. What does the stakeholder say and how do we make those adjustments along the way? So I wanted you to just have a visual of kind of how this is expanding. And this isn't perfect. This is something I was working on to think, okay, how I can't take the whole org chart from MAISA, but how do I build this just so you can see our section of work and where these people all interact. So if I was better, I would have been able to use those arrows to show back and forth, because all of this work is a continuum. It's a continuum. We all work together. And even though it has me here, I wouldn't be able to do anything without these people. Without Rusty and the math team, I would be a hot mess. Okay. And it's the same with our new staff members. Our goal is just to really be able to expand the work and resources that we can provide to you as you go back home to your ISDs. The last component I just want to share is that because we're adding staff, we also don't want to be overwhelming people at your meetings. So we're trying to be very strategic in which MAISA team members attend meetings and for how long we're there, if we're providing updates, if we're in person the whole day, kind of how is that working? So you may see some of us at certain meetings that you didn't see us at before, or you may say, hey, this person's not here at this meeting, I used to see them, but it's probably because they're going to something different instead, so that we're really looking at our roles and what our responsibilities are within those projects. So does anyone have any questions that I can elaborate on or fill in the blanks? It's a lot. I understand it's a lot.
I know I saw this to you before, but I appreciate the focus on the administrative piece. A big kind of hole in the work.
I would say,
and also
yeah.
Focusing on the deliverables. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And it's not that they didn't want to do those pieces before, but they didn't have the people and the capacity to do it. They were they only have so much time to give, you know? And so it's our responsibility to use those funds and really say, these are the deliverables, and we have to work harder to meet those. So, and we can continue to provide as much support for those coaches, but if they don't have administrators in those buildings who understand the need of coaches and what their role is, those coaches are still going to be beating their heads against the wall in some of those buildings. So it's our responsibility to help support you. We good from the chat or anybody online? I don't want to leave our online friends out.
Nothing from the chat.
You know how to find me if you have any questions. So feel free to email and I will work on that 35M and 35A work. Oh, and oh my gosh.
LMNOP.
And N. I don't want to talk about any of the 35A. 4, 5. If you are on our team, just know that that survey and I sent some communications, everybody said we need to wait over the summer. No one wanted it. They needed their brains to have some break time. But remember last year how we were saying if the Senate language is approved and put in by the governor, that means we go through grade 5. That was approved. So we are going to have resources to work with for our 4 or 5 essentials, meaning we have work to do, that there's funding time. So our new classroom person is going to be able to support with that. The administrative side is going to be able to support with that. And task force is using that as part of their professional learning. And it'll be a conduit with this team. Like we have people that will be able to do work together across so that we're not duplicating, but really building that sustainability between the work with this team and task force. And then in turn, GELN gives us more kind of the stamp of approval saying, yes, move forward. All right. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Well, we have come to the end of our day and we're gonna give you that gift of time, the last 10 minutes. But if you would, thank you, Tonya. If you would take a moment to do the feedback surveys, if there are some professional learning opportunities that you're hosting in your area that's open to people beyond your area, please link it into our Padlet. Just a reminder, and we do have a website that we have not updated yet for this year's resources, but it will be updated shortly after this session. And that's all we have for today. So thank you for those that joined us in person. We love being able to see you, and those that joined us online virtually. We appreciate all of your contributions to the chat and your discussions. We will have those whiteboards saved from our learning this morning that you can go back to and reference and dig deeper into some of those resources. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.